When we live. What up, World's Radioactive Podcast? It's your boy Ace Boogie, and we have some special guests with us today. What's going on, sir? He all up in his phone. Come on, Cliff, introduce yourself.
What's up, big baby? It's your boy Cliff, funniest person in South Texas, the face of San Antonio comedy, holding it down like some staples. I'm excited to finally be on the Radioactive.
Man, I sure appreciate you being here. Oh, there we go. It's the ghost, y'all.
Oh man, right on my turn, of course. You know, what's up, everybody? Radioactive, man. It's your boy Christopher, not Chris, all together like a pimp named Slickback. I appreciate you guys having me today.
Yeah, put that up.
All right, what's everyone listening up to Radioactive? This is your boy Remy Lee. I just want to say hi, what's up, happening, what's going on? Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. All right, well, today is National Cancer Survivors Day. And we want to send a love to all the cancer survivors out there in the world. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And stick with the fight. You guys got it. Lord earthquake.
Jesus. He's shaking the table. Lord, move the table. Yes, Lord.
All right. So, guys, there's this group called the New Era of Detroit. Mm-hmm. And they're an activist group, created to take back the community. Mm-hmm. And they stick up for race and pretty much black-owned communities. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what they're about. Mm-hmm. They have a new initiative they started. It's called the New Street Code. Mm-hmm. So with this new street code, they're vowed to protect women and children in their communities. It also has 10 guidelines. You said that on my phone? I ain't got no time to read the guidelines. Okay, so what's y'all thoughts on protecting the community?
My thought about protecting the community.
What are y'all thoughts on this idea, period? You know what I'm saying? Do you think
I don't know what
something?
What are the guidelines are? Are we going to sell dope to her?
They're protecting women and children as their guidelines.
Gotcha.
So, anything that falls in between there.
I think that's what we need to start policing ourselves in our own community.
Right.
That way no one else. So when the police do come, they can just come to whoever's running security in that area.
Right.
That's how they were doing it in Dimona, Israel. Before the police wasn't allowed into the village, they talked to the security first.
Okay. Well, what do y'all think about this initiative?
I think it's an interesting idea because it sounds like almost like a smaller, newer version of what the Black Panthers initially started trying to get together as a community and try to help each other out. So I think it's a good idea as long as everyone's clear on the rules of engagement. So, there's no conflict of interest or, somebody come up and say, well, I don't think that's right. I'm going to do it my own way. And then, of course, screwing up for everybody. And then they go back to, square one.
Right.
Well, just piggybacking on what you said there, there's always going to be somebody that has that, contrarian opinion. So, it's not that it's not a great idea, but then, how do you combat what he was just talking about, as far as those people that say, oh, no, I don't like that. Everybody's going to have their own opinion.
Somebody always has their opinion about something.
The majority idea to police our own communities is a great idea, because who better to deal with us than us?
Yeah.
Right.
What I'm saying? We leave it up to somebody else to do it. But if we're policing our own communities, if whoever's the head in the streets in these areas is taking over the communities and making sure that the craziness ain't going down like that, then, it seemed like we would have a better opportunity outside of the community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're dealing with cops coming from outside the community, claiming to patrol our community.
Yes.
And then they don't know you like your people know you.
Right. So let's come up with 5 guidelines of our own to protect people in our community. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely say one of them would be not letting our women and children walk alone, especially, on these dark streets and at night and so forth. You know what I mean? Well, what do y'all think though? What would be some initiatives or some things y'all could think of that could probably add to their guidelines?
I think if a female, had sex with so many dudes, I think we should know about it. So I don't want to be dating my homeboy's ex-girlfriend, you know what I mean? And he making jokes to me talking about how does my dick taste, you know what I'm saying? So I think we need to go ahead and make that a guideline.
Definitely want, but you know what? No one gets forewarning on something like that. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? You just got to go with it And if you find out your girl holds you, hey, what could you do? No, but what's some other things y'all come up to help the community or help specifically with our Black women and our children?
I mean, I wasn't never raised up in the streets or anything like that. But one thing that I always think about, like, I don't understand the street code, and when y'all going and y'all retaliation and these crews shooting at these crews, hey, you know what I'm saying? It's one thing for the people that chose that, but when you hitting children and you hitting innocent people, man, I feel like it's your responsibility to turn yourself in, do what you got to do, whatever the case may be.
So with that being said, are you saying that we should just start snitching on folks with guns? Since
I ain't saying that.
I'm just saying that's the only way to get these guns off the street.
I said snitch on yourself. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying I'm gonna be the one to drop the dime, but I am saying, you know, it's always messed up when you hear that story about the little kid that got hit, but it was you know, everybody knows it was some, you know, other type of violence going on, and then the innocent kid gets hit, and it's like, man, that's just a terrible situation to be in. So we got to find a resolution to some type of thing that's going on in the streets. That's just something I was thinking about.
Okay. Making resources more available. For example, like, you know, school like supplies. A mentor program, school supplies.
Yes.
Like if you are under a certain age, you have to be doing something. Boy Scouts.
So it'll be up to the men in the community to make these activities for the children.
Well, everybody, honestly. To everybody's point at the table, because I mean, if you're talking about community, it shouldn't just be one specific group doing the workload, because then once again, you're going to go back to the old ways, and then suddenly somebody's going to get frustrated, and that's going to bleed out. Now everybody's going back to square one, talking about, well, I didn't want to do that in the first place. So piggybacking on what they're saying, and actually to his point, I think there should be some sort of way to come forward if, you know, something's going on. Because when you say snitching, what do you actually talk about? Are you talking about just being nosy, or are you talking about trying to help somebody out? Because I know, at least from my parents' day, or at least back in the day, snitching wasn't necessarily a bad thing, because that was just technically everybody looking out for each other, saying, hey, you need to, you know, pull your pants up and stop being like a dumbass, because, hey, if you're going to act stupid, then, you know, there's no sense in you staying in our community, because then, you know, it's like bad apple, that's going to spread.
So it's kind of like you're weed. This is why I'm about snitching. You're weeding those bad apples out.
Exactly, yeah.
So are y'all okay with that?
If someone's selling crack, if someone's selling dope, if someone's selling dope in the community, he needs to be stopped, because it's destroying the community. It's causing people to break into houses.
Killing our babies at the end of the day.
Taking families away.
And just to add, man, I'll say one thing that, because we put a highlight on snitching. But one thing I'll say is, when stuff is going on in the neighborhood, like in my neighborhood, I didn't grow up in the what's called the hood, but in my neighborhood, when stuff was going on in the neighborhood, everybody know.
Exactly.
Everybody know what's going on. So I feel like there's always at least one pillar in your neighborhood, one person in your neighborhood that everybody kind of look up to. So, I mean, and it's tough to say, I got to put that responsibility on that man or on that woman or whoever that person may be. But, you know what I'm saying, we got to take that responsibility upon ourselves, that if we are that person in our neighborhood, in our community, that we got to go, you know what I'm saying, try to intervene in situations where we can, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's tough to say that, you know what I'm saying, because we may not be that person in that situation, you know what I'm saying? So I can't tell nobody else what they going to do with their time and efforts, but, you know what I'm saying, it just seems that the snitching situation or telling on somebody's situation, whatever you want to call it, is always going to cause bad blood in our community. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of feed your people over to the other side, so to speak. So it's like we got to take ownership on our own end if we want to eliminate the opportunity for that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we got to get the peace somehow.
So, I just want to piggyback off that point. I think not only within the Black community, but all communities altogether. I think that's one of the things that kind of irritates me about this generation, just as a whole, not just like for young people, is the fact that everybody always says they want somebody looking out for them, but yet if you turn around and tell them, hey, you know, what you're doing ain't right, or hey, there's a better way to do that, they suddenly give you attitude, and it's like, well, hey, hold up, you said you want to help, but then when you turn around, you know, jumping on my back, talking about exactly. It's all good up until you start, or people start trying to correct you, and then it's like, oh, well, you know, you ain't cool, man, you ain't down, you just doing that because you know you sound white and shit. I'm like, well, damn, okay, I thought you want to help. I'm sorry, shit.
All right, so I mean, like you were saying, it's about this responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Now, speaking of the responsibility, women and children, we all know about these new abortion laws. Now, my thoughts. I actually have a story on this abortion subject. Now, when I was about 18, 19, I had this chick, I had got her pregnant. And she went off and got an abortion without even talking to me. You know what I'm saying? She went off and got a man. And when I tell you I was hurt, I was crushed, okay? I was crushed so much to the point to where I kept that sonogram all the way until I actually had my first child.
Wow.
That's how crushed I was, and just like, oh, I can't believe she did this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now hindsight looking at it, I mean, Acey, what was you doing? Was you getting an extra job?
Yeah.
Was you making her feel secure?
Yeah.
Now thinking about it, I understand.
Yeah.
Back then, I was so pissed. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it hurt me so bad to the point I was carrying that.
Yeah.
I was carrying that sonogram with me.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I want to ask y'all this. Do y'all feel it should be mandatory, at least, for that woman to have that conversation with you? Or is it just all her choice and she can do what she wants?
I don't know. I honestly, I was asked that before in a different type of scenario. I just think that's one of those situations that should be situational. Like, say, for example, when you ask that, are you saying, is this somebody you plan on having a future together? Or is it someone that, as I kind of mentioned earlier in a different conversation, kind of sneezed and it's kind of like, oops, So
well, does that matter to you? You're still your child, regardless, whether it was an accident or on purpose.
I don't know. Like I said, it depends on what headspace I'm in at that time. Because I can honestly say a kid, I mean, I always know having one kid is a huge responsibility, especially if you aren't where you want to be either financially or career-wise or anything. So I kind of think it just kind of depends on your own situation. Now, as far as if she's basically at the 4-month part or whatever stage of pregnancy.
6 weeks? Or heartbeat, as soon as you hear that heartbeat.
Yeah.
6
if
weeks.
if she already has in her head that she wants to do it, I think at that point, I myself would rather be told before the action is taken versus, your situation where it's just up and down. It's like, oh yeah, I have this done and, it's all good. We're done. So.
I mean, have y'all had any situations kind of like that?
I've actually had exact same situation at about 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So how'd you handle it when you went through it?
Man, I didn't find out about it till like a year later.
Wow.
So like it was on some, hey, I'm gonna go see if I'm pregnant. I'm gonna go, take the test, do the little appointment, and then it was like, oh no, I'm good.
Wow.
And then like a year later,
she just played it off like she wasn't even
totally
pregnant.
played it off like I didn't even know. So then like a year later, she tells me, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, I had an abortion.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was salty.
You salty?
Yeah. I was salty.
Would he be wrong if he smacked her?
I wasn't gonna smack her. I wasn't gonna smack her. But
Yeah, I would say that's
I wasn't.
Hey, you killed your child. I'm just saying.
I wasn't.
Because if a person killed your child, so you had a living child, they killed your child, and you smacked them, it wouldn't be the difference. You wouldn't nobody feel bad then.
Well, actually, that is different.
I'm gonna tell you personally, I got kids, so I'm gonna tell you, it's different.
Yeah.
It's much different.
Because they're alive.
It's 3 million times.
I'm with you.
different.
I was just testing y'all. I was just testing y'all.
But yeah, I've had similar situations. I was pretty salty. I got over it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. In hindsight, it was kind of like, dang, like I didn't want it to go down like that. Well, is that what I wanted at that time?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Is that what I really wanted?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just such a tough situation. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a woman. I don't have nothing growing inside me.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say what's right or what's wrong about that. But I feel you. I've had that thought. Like, wait a minute, that's my seed.
I was definitely thinking.
You know what I'm saying? Like what say do I get? You know what I'm saying? Like
we feel like we should have some type of say.
I'm a part of that too.
What you got to say, Cliff? I see you ready.
It would definitely devastate me. I haven't really been in that situation per se. I just wish love, peace, and healing for all. I wish love, peace, and healing for all parties.
Yeah.
Now I have had come close to the situation. I used to be with this Jewish girl.
Okay.
And I slid and slide her like a Jamaican bobsled team.
Some people
and
say they can't believe.
I pre-ejaculated inside her, and so I went and got a Plan B pill and crushed it up and put it in her.
So you had your own abortion.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I put it in her like little smoothie and eggs. And
good Lord.
She wasn't pregnant no more, but you know what I'm saying. 3 days later,
did she know that you did that?
No. 3 days later,
own Bill Cosby.
3 days later, the baby resurrected. You know what I mean?
Oh, good What did you tell her? Wait, did you tell her though? She didn't know.
She didn't.
So is that just as bad? No, you horrible. That's just as bad as her having the abortion without.
She was like, "Why you being so nice?
Why you making nice shape?
Why you trying to cater to me all of a something?" I don't know why I made her Mexican just now. You know what I'm saying?
Look, that's to be in San Antonio. Wow. Say, so did y'all see that?
That was before I had knowledge, by the way.
Yes, we're all grown now.
Yeah.
So did y'all see that Ava DuVernay When They See Us? Please tell me y'all seen that.
No, not yet.
When they see us, when they see
It's
us.
on Netflix.
I'm probably not gonna watch it
What?
personally.
Yes, tell me why. I'm offended, sir.
I don't.
TV program.
I really don't watch anything that shows us getting beat, getting treated poorly.
I can't agree with that.
I see that in life every day, so I don't like to watch movies about it. My favorite slave movie is Django, because they finally made one
Yep.
where he get to be the hero.
Satisfying movie.
I also like Birth of a Nation, but most black people things that are like slave generated or generated in showing us how they do us, I don't really care to see it personally.
Okay, but this is the bad thing about that, because what happens is if we don't learn about this stuff, the history gets lost. You know what I'm saying? Or it repeats itself.
I can read, so I don't need a movie to teach me history.
Okay.
But
That's a lot of fantasizing situations a lot of times in the movies and television, whereas whereas we miss a lot of the information because we don't read the story.
yeah.
And then they never really make movies about us before slavery, because they want us to believe that our history starts with slavery. So everything after that is just accomplishment. First black president, first black woman of America.
Yeah, like we're barely making these.
You know what I'm saying? Like so they want to show, so we can be like,
we're the kings of the world. We talk about the first
you know what I mean?
True.
We still stuck.
Because there was a movie called Gods of Egypt, but they used like white actors.
Yeah.
Even the Egyptians, they made them white. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Because we are the real Jews. You know what I mean?
Have you seen you know a little bit about the Central Park? Do y'all all know a little bit about the Central Park 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so without probably even seeing it, how does that make you feel in general?
I mean, it's
especially since they were babies. You know what I'm saying? They were little kids.
I was gonna say, do you mean like about the movie or about the situation?
Just the situation, because it's both the same thing. The situation, the movie, same difference. You know.
I don't know. For me, I'm kind of like, I'm not necessarily numb to it, but it's kind of like old hat for me, because it's one of those things. I just say it. You kind of like have expected to happen only because of how people act when it comes to certain groups, and then when something like that goes down, and then there's been an injustice, at least here in America or specific spaces, tend to not get really cleaned up even long after the so-called apology has been made, and the not even the reparations, if you want to be honest, have been done. So I don't know. I don't know.
Do you feel like they're just doing so much taunting? Like, are they taunting us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And more talk than action. Because even after the gentleman got out, there wasn't really a lot done to kind of like help them kind of like, get back on their feet and move forward.
So just let folks know, Central Park 5 was these young men who were in the park. They, I'm not gonna say they'll probably make me a little mischief. However, but the point is, a woman got raped in the park.
Yeah. And
they blamed the young boys for the rape that happened to that woman. She was a white woman. They were black men, but the youngest was as young as like 14. I want to say, you know what I'm saying, from 14 to like 16, maybe 17. You know, so and they went to prison, meaning they were in there with grown men. So out of line. Yeah. But anyway, back to how it made us feel.
Yeah.
I just wish love, peace, and healing for everybody.
I heard that. So I got a question, just to switch it up a little bit.
All right.
So y'all ready?
All right. Yeah.
All right. So if y'all were women, now the reason why I bring this up, no?
Uh-oh.
No?
Oh, no.
The producer is shutting him down on that question.
Yes. Producer said no.
Rejected.
All right. Guys, okay, here we go. Robert Mueller. Y'all know about Robert Mueller in this Trump situation, huh? So he's former special counsel who held a press conference where he said that he couldn't clear Trump of any criminal activity, but also could not charge him as sitting president. I mean, what is y'all's? Well, the question is, what is y'all thoughts, and should he be charged?
What should he be charged with?
I guess collusion
for what
with Russia.
I don't know. Go ahead. Go. Oh no, I was just gonna say, for me, this situation is kind of moot. Going back to the conversation we had earlier of low expectations and things not being done in a proper way. So this, I mean, for me, this feels kind of like moot. This kind of answers itself, but I'll leave it up to the
I'm
panel.
horrible with politics. I think Trump has done more for Black people than Obama did in 8 years, to be honest with you, because I feel that I feel like
you think Trump has done more for us?
Because I think he's creating this awareness to make us come together. Because like I like it when they're openly racist like that, you know what I mean? Instead of being like a hidden racist, you know what I mean? So I think there's been more of a self-awareness, you know, like, hey, we need to come together so that's how I feel. I feel like Obama really didn't. I don't see where I think Obama was just a distraction that whole 8 years. Like,
I agree.
What did he really do for us?
Yeah, Pacific.
You know what I mean? There was more like cops killing Black people in his whole term. So I'm horrible with politics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You guys want to touch more on that?
Man, Trump's a reality star. So when I see Trump on TV, I feel like it's reality TV, and I treat it as such.
Yes.
It's Love and Hip Hop. It's
you don't take him
it's
serious.
Black Ink. He's a businessman. You know what I'm saying? And I try to call myself a businessman at times, and as a businessman, sometimes you got to play the role.
Right.
And he's good at playing the role. You know, so he's gonna stick around as long as the higher ups want him to stick around.
Yeah.
Because they've been talking about impeachment since day one. So it's like I'm supposed to believe it now, and we're about to vote for a whole new president, and I'm supposed to believe it now.
And honestly, like if they could just get him off of Twitter, and like reword some of the shit that he's saying, he's really not that bad of a dude. Like he's just the way he delivers. The way he delivers shit, it's wrong. But if you actually look at some of the stuff, it's like okay, like
so you see where he's coming from, what he's trying to say.
Yeah, if you can get past some of the ignorant shit that he do.
So it's kind of like Kanye.
Right.
Oh,
Are you? I want to know. Are you Republican? Are you Republican, Cliff?
Nah.
Did you vote for Trump?
Nah, I didn't vote for Trump.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, like, even look at Kanye. I can't stand Kanye, but if you look at some of the stuff that he was trying to bring out with Trump, I don't like the manner he was doing it with, like calling, well, you're my father figure. I hated that shit. Well, out of all the positive Black men in America, you're gonna call Trump like a father figure. But I like the fact that he was trying to, help Larry Hoover, and some of the stuff that he brought out in that interview, I felt like got overlooked because he's done so much ignorant shit.
Okay. So guys, as men, we all know that there's times, we may be out in the club, we may be, we be on the prowl, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes we be wanted by any means necessary. You know what I mean? Even to the points where we might go home with a woman who we would never. We wake up in the morning like, what did I do? They got a term for this now. The term is called werewolf dick. Right?
No.
Now they say this because you're a beast when you're on the hunt, you're on the prowl, you're trying to find what you're trying to find. But once you get it, check this out. But once you get it, you go back down to that regular human. You come back to your senses. So you're like, what the hell did I just do? Now, my question to y'all is, I know y'all don't have that. Y'all looking at me like y'all ain't never had this situation before. Like y'all never.
Oh, I got a response for you, but go ahead.
Okay, so why is it as men that we're like that though? Why is it that we'll make those poor decisions just to bust that nut?
Because it's more chemical than anything else. And honestly,
I
don't know why they call it werewolfing. Because as I interrupted you, I was like, so you mean like extra hairy or something?
No. What it is that you're a beast, and then you go back and
I got you. Okay, that one needs to be like put in the junk pile. But no, I think it's just honestly for real.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm just.
I got that from the Joe Rogan show. It was funny when I heard it.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. But I don't know. I just think not even with just men, because even women have a tendency to do that. Because I was listening to somebody and they were like, they had made this comedian had made the joke that basically that girls have it really bad, especially in high school, because they're dating a bunch of dudes that are basically dumbasses, and so that's basically why they drink twice as much as dudes do. And so we
made them alcoholics.
Yeah. So when it comes to this stuff, I think honestly, since we're wired, we got the testosterone flowing in our blood. And honestly, it's just chemical. And then again, if you've had a rough ass week, and I've had that for a minute now, sometimes you just gotta get it out any way you can.
What do y'all think?
I've never really had that. I went through my phase in my 20s where I was just wilding out, but it's all about, like he said, it's a chemical imbalance.
Yeah.
So I think something goes off in our brain that's like,
we have
for
to
sure.
because
It just lowers down the standards. Like,
well, not even that. I think it just goes back to that whole fight, flight, or fuck type of thing. Says if you got that buildup, it's got to go somewhere. Just like with stress, fear, or anything else. If you don't have a proper way to channel that stuff out, you either gonna hurt yourself, or you're gonna hurt somebody else.
I wouldn't just go just because I love the ladies. I respect them, especially your sister. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because
I think
because
it's
I
taking your
love
turn.
you, because I love you so much, I wouldn't want someone to like come at your sister with some werewolf dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would offend me. So not that she's here or anything. You know? No, but I wouldn't want someone to go to our daughters and talk to them in all kind of ways, and just so they can bust off a nut.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
So
But like scripture
giving them false
says,
dreams. You don't like the fact of giving them
I
false
wouldn't
dreams.
lead a girl along, but
Leading
you
them
know what I'm
on.
saying?
Yeah.
If someone's bearing fruit and says, "Hey, come take this," you know what I'm saying? I will do it, but
You being a hypocrite, sir.
You ain't saying the whole truth, brother. But go ahead.
I wouldn't lead. I'm against leading a female on, though.
Okay.
Just so I can,
Get what
bust.
you want.
Just so I get my rocks off. I'm against that.
Okay.
What you got?
Man, I'll keep it real short and sweet, man.
Mm-hmm.
I learned at an early age. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody has their time as a young man. You start feeling yourself. You can get you a couple ladies, and you be out there trying to do your thing. Everybody has their time, but I've learned that before you make important decisions, you either take a dump or you bust a nut.
Hello.
Like,
You let one out the
You got it,
chamber.
you got it,
You
you
got
got
it.
it, you got it.
Something
Let it go.
about Mary.
Yes,
a
indeed.
classic movie.
So wait. Does that mean that we're immature in a sense? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, now as grown men, we're like, no, we know better.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
So was it an immature thing? The reason why we thought that way, or why are we sitting here acting like we still don't think?
I was about to say it's still to this day. It's just now I know I'm not gonna put it in some random. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's either gonna be my lady or the sock I got behind the bed. It's gonna be one of the two. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna go out there and make those type of decisions at this point in my life. You know what I'm saying? But I know that I probably still the situation is still the same because, like you said, it's chemical.
Yeah.
It's not like it's something that's just made up in your head. Like,
I wonder, is that a fact? I'm about to get a scholar on
I
here.
guarantee you.
Oh yeah, it is a fact.
Something
But,
released
yeah,
in our brains.
yeah.
But also, you leave. I don't have sex with random people like that because you leave an energy on them, and they leave an energy.
Oh, so you've never had a one night stand, Cliff? That's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying.
Oh, no.
like you said,
You think he's learned?
I've
That's
had several one night stands.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes where like I fell in love with that one night stand.
Is that wrong to fall in love with your
You
one
know what
night
I'm saying?
stand?
And sometimes that one night stand fell in love with me and I didn't know. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
like I said, I don't want to lead a female on. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah, and it's crazy because we know that we have great intentions per se, but they just kind of get swayed. That's all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
little. Okay, so
Little
guys,
curve.
I want to ask y'all this. Now I do this. I don't know about y'all,
Okay.
but say for instance, I see a white dude walking down the street with a black woman. That's his woman. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
my subject. Okay.
And
Trust me.
I'll tell you what I do.
I have a whole story about that.
Look, I'm telling you, now, why is it that black men? Because I know a lot, me and a lot of other black men do this. When we see that, or we see an Indian guy with a black woman, anybody with our black women, we sit there and say he ain't fucking her right. He ain't doing it right. I can do it better. Now, why is it that we feel as black men that our dicks is God's gift to earth or to women? You know what I'm saying?
Can I go on that one?
Yes.
I don't think it has anything to do with us believing our dicks are God's gift.
Okay.
If you're referring to a black man seeing a black woman with
The white man.
Another race.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more so innate in us that we know that we're for them and they're for us. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of a territorial thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like, oh, I know he ain't doing it right. It's more so like, wait a minute, what he doing?
Uh-huh.
It's like you know what I'm saying. You can't walk in a Crip neighborhood with all your Crip flags on, but it's
Well, I'm gonna ask you
with
this.
all your blood flags on it.
Do you think it has anything to do with the rumors or you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily saying it's true, but white men have little dicks, Indian, Chinese men. Do you think that influences our thoughts on why we feel that You know,
I don't think so.
stereotype. That's what I'm trying to say.
To his point and to the producer's point, I think it's more so your own prejudices and stuff. Because I know for me,
so you think it's prejudice?
Well, I mean, because here's the thing: if you're having that,
well,
because here's the thing: if you have that much of a visceral reaction to somebody who has nothing to do with you, that obviously speaks more to you and your own subconscious issues versus like I'm just saying. Because I know for me, my thing is, and I have a whole other joke about this about whenever I see like a black woman with a white dude, or vice versa. My thing is, I always take it to the fun. I'm like, okay, so as much as we know about white folks and the fact that they don't ever survive a horror film. They're always the first ones. If there's ever type of like creaking sound, they're like, "Oh my God, hold up, I'll be right back." Yeah, they're like, "Johnny, no, go back." I'm like, I don't know if I be careful.
So what you think their lifespan ain't that long? They don't live that long?
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Because you got to think about that. You got to think about.
She gonna be dead in a couple
like
years.
me. If I was gonna date somebody, I'm not saying that I would never date a poor white person. But I'm like, if you date a white person, I hope they're rich, because statistically speaking, they're going to be the ones that go before us. I mean, because like I said, if you see any type of horror film, sci-fi, anything, they're always the first one to go. Why? Because they don't pay attention to science.
Curiosity, man.
Oh, yeah. So just like, because I remember seeing online, there was this meme going around where they have a picture of this like white family running into a building, and it says, realtor. Yeah. So a bunch of so the previous owners were like murdered and their bodies are still in the building. And you see somebody going, okay, let's move in. I'm like, nah, but I know several people of European descent that would do that. They're like, oh no, that's cool. That's interesting.
It's a good price.
Exactly. Yeah. Never mind the fact that you're gonna die before midnight, but
Okay. So guys, I'm gonna ask y'all this. Now, we all know pussy is power, correct? So do y'all believe that these women really understand that power? Now, when I say this, I'm gonna give more perspective.
Okay.
I feel like if women withheld the vagina during the relationship more, that they would have more power. I feel like that entices us more, and it takes away the thing of I'm getting used to it. I'm tired of hitting the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It kind of control it more. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't get it when you want it. Yeah. Especially when you don't get it when you want it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I kind of think if they withheld it, you know what I'm saying? Not long periods of time, ladies. I'm giving y'all a cheat code. All right. But I kind of feel like if they withheld it more, they would have the trump card.
My manliness will not permit me to speak on this conversation.
No. You are not exempt, sir.
Well, go ahead, Glutton.
Well, I believe that in my relationships, I have.
Oh, you got multiple wives, Cliff?
Yeah.
Cliff got multiple wives.
I believe a man can have more than one wife.
Okay,
you know what I mean? That doesn't mean I'm out here fucking a whole bunch of bitches, but
just the ones
you got
the five you got.
You got your girl. You got wives and you got concubines. You know what I mean?
Okay. Wait, what's concubines? It's like
concubines.
They're basically paid
sexual purposes only, but like you don't.
And that's religiously legal.
Well, in some places.
Well, Solomon, I believe he had. I might be wrong. He had 500 wives and 300 concubines.
So that's a thing.
Well,
remember, like Abraham, he couldn't get. I believe it's
his
Sarah.
first wife pregnant. Yeah,
he couldn't get her pregnant. And so
he had to have.
Hey, you can have. She was like, you can have my handmaid, and he nutted up to her, and he had Ishmael. You know what I'm saying?
So she down? That sounded like she was pretty down. Like she was like,
yeah.
I'm here.
Well, yeah, because she was bearing herself.
But like, I'm not. Once again, I don't lead women on. I just be like, hey, this is what I got going on.
You're right. Okay, so you back to it. Do you think them withholding would give them more power, or that would just make us run away as men?
Not really, because. I mean, I'm sure y'all have experienced this. If there was ever a girl who said she saved herself for her either husband or man or something like that.
That's different.
No, that's the same thing. Because if you think about it, women, I hate to say it, but we already know this. They can win for losing. If they will hold it, they're called a bitch. If they do it, then they're a hoe. But then, if a dude does it, they're like, oh man, you good? You saving yourself? That's good, man. That's good. You're not a hoe no more.
Yeah.
But then again, if you're trying to be a hoe, like somebody, I'm not going to mention Clifton. Former life.
I like what he's bringing out.
Yeah, but I mean, because for me, I look at it like this. You're right in the fact that they do have power, but at the same time, they're still going to get crapped on for it, no matter what they do. Because just like the conversation we had earlier about werewolfing,
So in other words, if I don't get it from you, I'm gonna get it from somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they lose again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So let's come up with a solution for these women. Come on, let's try to put our hands together.
Okay.
What can they do to win because it's so many different type of double standards for it. Like,
I think the only thing they can do is what they do now, what they want to do.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, like he said, they're gonna lose either way, fooling with us.
Yep.
So that's why you got a lot of women on the side, like, man, I don't need a man. I'm just gonna do my own thing.
Exactly.
so we cause women's independence or what?
I mean, I think.
No, I think it's. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, no, I think that's more so out of frustration because, like I said, if you think about it, if you already know when you step into the room that everybody in their mind already got some type of pornographic scenario about you, and then when they step up to you and try to like holler at you, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you want to smash right quick?" and they're like, "No," and then you turn around, come on, bitch. I'm like, then how do you expect to, how should I say it, like boost your confidence or anything? Honestly, I feel the ones that have more power are the independent women that actually do their own thing. They're like, no, look, if you want to get with me, these are my standards, and if you don't follow up with those standards, you gone, brother. You know what I mean?
I like it when they make me work for it. Like you get to know. It's like you going hunting.
It's a chase.
Yeah. And the way how like I look
But how
at
long does that chase supposed to last?
Exactly.
I like me. Well, I like the build. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Foreplay. Yeah.
I mean, because the way I look at it, you know what I mean. A woman that lets anybody hit is kind of locked, like a lock that is a shitty lock.
Yeah.
A
I'm
nigga,
hearing that.
you know what I'm saying? A nigga, a nigga that can like open
The lock.
any lock.
Mhm.
That's what you call a master key. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
okay.
Well, we call them
So-
hoe, but yeah, that too.
So here we go with another example of the double standard.
Double standard.
So as a woman, if she fucks everybody, she's
a shitty lock.
a bad lock,
Okay.
or a hoe. But the
right.
man is the master.
But wait, we can't dismiss that hoes are important.
Yeah.
You gotta. A lot of us wouldn't know
Yay
or have the
for
skills
hoes.
that we wouldn't have the skills that we have today if it wasn't for those hoes that gave us the opportunity. What you gonna say? You ain't that. What you gonna say?
I'm gonna say that although I have partaken in hoe activity at one point in my life, at this current stage of my life, I will say that a decrease in hoes in 2019 could probably be a good thing.
It'd be a good thing.
Yes, we do. Yes.
What the church say? Amen.
Okay,
Yes, Lord.
okay.
Yes.
All right.
I'm voting for Christopher, not Chris.
No more hoes. Yes,
What
Lord.
happened? What y'all think? What happened? Like if say the women just locked it down for like just 30 days. Just say 30 days.
The world will go crazy, honitely,
You
especially
think
for
so?
dudes.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so
Well-
too. More drive-bys, or what do y'all think? Like it'll be.
I think
we'll be
it'll
irritated.
I think it'll be a lot of angry men, but I think on the other side of it, it will be a lot of men that have a different understanding.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because
What can you learn from that? What can you learn from not getting it?
so you ain't never been grounded as a kid?
Thank you.
This guy here.
I'm just saying you ain't never been grounded.
Don't make me look bad.
I'm
No,
just
he's
saying,
right.
man, you get grounded. Your mama take that PS1 when you first got that new
I
NBA
did
Live.
I did learn.
You know what I'm
just say
saying?
PS too. Yeah.
You was going.
So that should use. So that should go into the power of the PUSSY.
Yeah.
You're grounded, sir.
Yeah.
No poom poom for you.
Yeah.
I feel like if a man is handling his business, like you know, catering to her, being honest with her, you know, making her feel good and paying bills, I think he should have access.
To the poom poom at all times.
At all times, unless if it's her period or she got
Well,
People don't care about
gallstones.
periods.
well, biblically speaking.
Let's lay the towel down, girl.
Oh, God.
You know, if you do it in the shower, it just
It stops.
God.
yeah.
What is that a myth? Does it stop when they get into the shower?
No,
Hey, man, I don't
it
wanna-
does not. No.
I don't want to know nothing about that, guys.
Okay.
I'm good on that one.
Unless if you're on vacation and you know.
No, that's no, that's a Bloody Mary. Ain't nobody want a Bloody Mary. Like
Oh,
that,
good
dude.
Lord.
No.
Oh, you got a name.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Okay. So guys, we'll take it back to when we were young.
Okay.
Can y'all think of a time when y'all were young when y'all did something when y'all young that could have ruined your whole entire life? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give y'all examples so y'all can see more. So when I was younger, I had in middle school, right? I'm in the gym, it's a locker room, and my friend goes, I bet you won't pee in this Gatorade bottle. I'm in the 8th grade. You know what I'm saying? I look over him, what? Watch me. Done, right? I pee in the bottle. He takes the bottle, and in the gym, in the locker room, it's new. It's a new locker room, right? So they have a wall that separates the bathroom from the locker room. But on the top of that wall wasn't complete. So it was so he throws it over, right? So the guy on the other side, another partner of mine, He picks it up. Matter of fact, and they're just throwing it back and forth. So eventually, one of the guys pick it up. I don't know why he does this, but he smells it.
Oh, Lord,
he throws up everywhere. Okay, when I tell you across the whole entire locker room, coach comes in. What the hell's going on? Why is he doing? When I tell you, it was so funny. Every kid in the locker room, ACP in the bottle, and all their hands, ACP in the bottle. I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
Coach is pissed.
Back to the no snitching conversation.
Thank you. Exactly.
At that point, snitching.
Right. Yeah.
So check this out. So coach is pissed. He's like, you know what? You know what? Take this. He told me take this bottle and go stand in the middle of the gym. Now, mind you, it's co-ed gym. PE is co-ed.
Oh, no.
So now I'm standing in the middle of the gym with a Gatorade bottle with piss. Now, but mind you guys, I want to say it's yellow or orange, so I kind of was able to play it off. You know what I'm saying? People are looking at me like, why is he holding that bottle? But they don't know what's in there. So as I'm sitting there waiting, because it's my punishment sitting there.
Yeah.
The school police officer comes. Yes.
Oh, snap.
Come on, sir. I need to take you to the office. They tried to get me for indecent exposure. Okay, wow. I'm in 8th grade. I pulled my penis out in front of people. You know what I'm saying? Even though they were all men, you know what I'm saying? They tried to get me. Yes. Maybe it was a scare tactic. Maybe they, you know what I'm saying? But that's what they told me.
Yeah.
Luckily, my pops, you know what I'm saying? Talked to the officer. I just got suspended. Okay. So they suspended me. You know what I'm saying? For 3 days. But that could have been on my record.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Straight up. So guys, can y'all think of a time when y'all were younger that y'all could have ruined y'all's lives?
Damn, I can't count that one up.
Yeah, you ain't got to comp it. You know what I'm saying? I got stories for days.
Man, I guess, man, when we were younger, me and my partner, he was like my best friend. His parents would go out of town a lot. Mm-hmm. So we would always like kickbacks at his parents' house, you know, because we were there. Mm-hmm. And this was probably like all through middle school, most of high school. We normally had successful missions. You know, we probably got caught up with little stuff a couple of times, but I tell you what, we used to drive around this city in his mama's little car. Mm-hmm. His mama had a little Pontiac. Mm-hmm. And we used to drive around. We would be like 13.
No license.
No license.
Oh, good Lord.
Smoking blacks out the window.
Oh,
snap! Wow.
Doing all types of stuff. Probably then once we got to high school, we got this connect and we started going to this college night at this club.
Okay.
Full wristbands and everything.
So I had fake IDs or what?
We didn't have fake IDs. It was just a connect.
Okay.
We connected with the promoter.
Yeah.
Who was running the thing on Thursday nights. It was a college night, and we was in there faded.
Wow.
Like every Thursday we could.
So if y'all would have got caught, that definitely.
Oh yeah, we were driving and everything. No licenses, driving to the club, getting drunk, driving home. Yeah, it was pretty reckless. Yeah, that was pretty reckless. That one could have went bad. Mm-hmm. We made that a couple months going to that club. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That one could have went bad, but nothing ever happened, thank God. But that one could have went left.
Could have.
Yeah, at any time, you know. Right?
Yeah.
You someone was looking over you. Was blessed. Right?
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
What about you? Can you think of anything? Y'all, I don't know why you acting like you ain't bad. Like nobody ain't broke no windows.
He's got
stories.
Graffiti.
No, but I'm trying to think of something cooler than
yours.
yours.
Spitballs at my goddamn sub all the time. Like, come on.
No, I think his thing is, like he said in the beginning, he has relationships. So he has plenty of stories. So he's got to think of one that isn't gonna get
right.
Hey, wait a minute, that was you. I know that was you, Clinton. You lying little something. Yeah. I don't know. I can't really think of anything. Yeah. I mean, there was a couple of situations where I could have where I came close to death. That's only because I was being stupid. Because I know when I was growing up, like near that situation. Now that I can think of it, the only thing that comes to mind is I remember when we were coming home from church, and I don't know if y'all ever did this as kids, but like if you ever had like a drink from like McDonald's or something, you had like ice or something, you were like still thirsty, so you started sucking on the ice or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know how this happened, but I got a big chunk of ice lodged in the back of my throat, and I tell you, I started getting dizzy for a minute. I was praying to God. I was like, damn, Lord, please let it melt. Please let it melt. Please let it melt.
Let it melt.
Yeah, and it was night. It was at dark too, and I was in the back seat. My parents were driving. I was like, damn, this is how I'm gonna die.
So I'm going out ice.
Yeah,
it's gonna take me out.
I was like, Lord, not now.
That's too funny,
right?
I mean, I don't got nothing as cool as you, AC, but you know, I grew up on the west side with a lot of Mexicans and shit.
Mhm.
So
I was gonna say.
I had like a crazy growth spurt where I just kind of like just grew, and I was the same size as 8th graders.
Mhm.
And so they had to like, they were trying to test my gangster,
Mhm.
and I wasn't a gangster. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
And this dude was picking on me, and I finally just like snapped one day and like
Oh, shit.
hit him so hard that he dazed. And then that's when this dude named Joe Vega
Uh-huh.
came and got me in the eye, and then all these
Oh,
Mexicans
they jumped you?
they started jumping me.
Oh, snap.
But they had to respect me the next day.
Oh yeah,
'cause,
for sure.
you see this big black eye on me. I got a big black eye, and everybody's asking me questions,
Mhm.
and I didn't.
Oh, they jumped me.
I didn't snitch, and like niggas respected me
Okay.
hardcore after that. But
So I got. Oh, okay. So check this out, guys.
Okay.
I remember this in high school. This happened. So it was these guys. What was their name? Alex and Carter. I think that their name. Now this is Highlands High School back when. So what happened was
Snitching.
All right.
I'm snitching on you guys. So what happened was those two guys. They ended up making a sex tape, right? And
Wait, together or with another girl?
With the girls. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
I was about to
guys.
say, damn. All right.
They made the sex tape with these. I think these girls at school. I ain't gonna get too deep into it.
that's the
Oh, check so check this out.
Yeah.
So with these guys, they like I said, the whole school found out about it. It was a school scandal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they ended up finding out about it because they're in the classroom, right?
Mhm.
And they're watching the Black History program on the TV because it's home ec class. And the teacher's just grading papers. So she allows the students to watch the Black History program. You know what I'm saying? She pops in the tape, they're watching it. They watching it, and as soon as it's over, a blue screen pops up. You know how it was on VHS?
Yes.
Blue screen pops up, and the next thing you know, click! You see the guy putting his hand up the girl's shirt, pop the titty out.
Oh my.
They going
God.
in, they going ham, right? The whole school knows about it by time third period. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's rumor, it's going like wildfire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the guys end up getting called to the office.
Yeah.
So they're in the office, you know, in high school, you're in the officer's office, right?
Yeah.
These guys, pretty much what was told to me, they was getting scolded by the officers. Yo, we're told that you guys did a sex tape with these girls. These girls are they're crying. You know what I'm saying? This is a big problem. Did y'all do it?
Yeah.
And he's telling me, he's like, no, I was denying it to the end. But what happened was his partner ended up telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? His partner ended up saying, yeah, we did it. But see, the cool thing about it is the one dude recorded over it. You know what I'm saying? Before the officer seen it. The students seen it. By the time the officers got it, it was recorded over.
Okay.
But anyway, them guys was going to be hit with recording a minor.
Yeah.
And they were going to go to jail, go to prison for 5 years, 5 or 10 years, whatever that comes with that, for recording a minor. And then on top of that, be a registered sex offender, be pedophiles. Like, could have ruined their lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you know, lucky for them, I guess because there was nothing on the tape, they got away with it. You know what I'm saying? But that could have ruined their lives. Like, they could be, you know what I'm saying? Pedophiles to this day.
Yeah.
To this day.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I got a question for you guys. I seen a girl make this statement, and I kind of looked at her kind of funny in the sense, because I'm like, you're hurting us as black men. But why is it as black men is it that we feel it's gay to heart another man's photo? Why is that?
I don't
either.
I heart Cliff's stuff all the time.
Yeah, but y'all tight. Would you heart somebody else? Would you heart my photo? You barely know me.
It depends on what the photo is.
Yeah.
So
So
why
like-
is it gotta be a stipulation though? I'm sorry.
Because I don't heart every picture in general. I don't
This
heart
is
every
true.
picture of a
This is
female
true.
or
But
anything.
say you just but so say you want to show your support, right? You wanted to show your support to someone. Why is it that you have to wait for a certain picture before you can support them like that? You know what I'm saying? If it's any other picture, say it's him with a shirt on, okay, like, but you know what I mean? Like, why is it that it's certain stipulations onto hearting the photo? You know what I'm saying?
Who said it's gay to heart a photo?
This is what the girl said. I think it's gay when I see men hearting other men's photos.
Oh, you mean like liking and stuff?
Oh, the females think
The
that?
female said she
the
thought it
one
was
girl.
gay for another man to heart another man's photo.
She's
And I was like,
stupid.
no, because we should be able to support each other without any type of.
You know, people tell you about their insecurities in their
Exactly.
own special
Yes.
ways because
So you
there's
think she had run in with a gay man and kind of
No,
scarred her for life?
it may not even be that. She just may have a misconception of what it is to be a strong man. You know what I'm saying? Because supporting each other is stronger than
hating on
Turn
each other.
down.
You know what I'm saying? We should show
Oh, yeah.
love. We should always show love to each other.
Yeah.
That's how we build each other up. You know what I'm saying?
Especially
That's
nowadays.
really what the problem is for most of us in general. We see
Yeah.
each other, we can't even head nod at another brother no more.
And you know,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. What is up with that though, man? Like,
You know what I'm saying?
what is it? What is it about us that, you know what I'm saying? We stare at each other too long. It's a fight. You know what I mean? Like, is that a pride?
I think honestly that's an American cultural thing because most other places, if like say for example, the three of us, if we're best friends or whatever, that's like ride or die. Because in a lot of countries, you honestly don't know if you're gonna see that same person the next day. If you live someplace like I say India, they said that I think they said it was either in India and a couple other places where basically if they say that you're a best friend, that's basically y'all brothers that you're locking tight because if something happens, that you don't know who's got your back.
Mm-hmm.
But I think honestly, I feel like especially nowadays in America, especially considering as men, we're trying to catch up to the women, especially with like the emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly, that's one of those old habits that was kind of ingrained to us only because we were told that, oh, well, it's not masculine or you're not a real man. If you say like, hey, what's up, brother? How you doing today? How's your emotional thing? How you doing? How's that going? Shit.
Yeah.
I think, like he was saying, I think that more so exposes her insecurities versus anything that was wrong. Cause like both of them were saying, if you don't support each other, who's going to have your back?
Who's gonna have your back? Right,
Yeah.
Right. They scaring us for.
Yes, it would. It would be toxic.
But it came from a woman, so is that toxic masculine? Oh, you want on our part, but
Well,
not hard.
yeah, in that sense, yes. But to your point about what she was saying, that's just plain ignorance, honestly.
It is.
Because I mean, well, no, I can't go there. Never mind. Go ahead. I'll let somebody say mine.
Yeah, man. I just wish love, peace, and healing.
Whatever.
He's just here so he don't get fined, okay?
Exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I don't think it's gay at all. You know what I mean? I have heart to hearts with both of these people right here. I call them like, hey, man, I'm broken.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some niggas you'll call it like,
See, this is the thing. No. This is the thing. You know who to call. So
Exactly.
It's the thing of why can't I call any one of my homeboys? But does that go with the
I've
toxic
had
masculinity?
embarrassing
Yes, it
conversations like, yeah, man, she cheated on me. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you need, I don't know, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I think that is. And like I said, I think that's more of a cultural thing because at least like I said, here in America, it's more of a problem versus anywhere else because I don't know. I don't even get that because that's one of those things that even growing up, I never understood. I was like, well, if he's your best friend and you're supposed to have his back, then why is it like you were saying, he can't really come to you in his real hour of need, and then God forbid, he kills himself the next day because he feels like, well, my homeboys ain't got me, then my girl doesn't got me, and my family damn sure doesn't got me because I haven't talked to them in a minute. Then what are you supposed to do?
I think I blame Huey from Boondocks. Man, that's gay. Man, that's gay. I think that's what I blame.
I was at a spot at an event not too long ago, and one of the dudes said, he said, man, if I say something out of my mouth and the first thing you think about is that's gay, then you gay.
Yeah,
because I didn't say, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody got to
Mhm.
make everything about it being gay or whatever. That,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's toxic homophobia. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it
You know what
is.
I'm saying?
It is because the white boys, they'll sit there and grab each other's dicks. You know
Now
what I'm
that's
saying?
too much.
Well,
Now
see,
But that's fun to them.
yeah.
They're just having fun.
Yeah,
that's rap boy
Hey,
shit. But yeah.
but that's what they do.
Yeah.
They are so comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'm comfortable with masculine men, but I'm not about to play, grab ass. And,
I mean, hey, if
you
the
know?
rent is due, brother, I'm saying do what you got to do. That's all I'm saying. Hey, the rent is high. Subscriptions are expensive.
Wait,
Hey.
with that being said, that goes going. I'm sorry, sis. I gotta do it because he opened it. He opened it. I gotta do
That's what she
it.
said.
Guys,
That's what she
I sit there on Facebook, guys, and I get so jealous of these women who sell pussy. I'm sorry. Yeah, I see them count their money, count their dough, and I'm like,
Back to the power of pussy. Yeah.
yo, they are making bread. Question, guys.
Mhm.
Now, with y'all seeing this,
Yeah.
if y'all were women, would y'all sell it?
I would do it now, honestly.
Hello.
I'm
Keep it
telling
real
you
with
right
yourself.
now, yeah. Dude, honestly, I even tell everybody this. I was like, yes, no.
I knew it. Oh my gosh. Good
But yeah, because I already told somebody before, I was like, honestly, if I could rewrite my entire history, I was working a crappy job. I would have saved my black ass in the gym. I would have did porn and retired by now. I would have been in Bora Bora sipping on.
But
some drink.
a man would never make as much money as a woman. Point blank.
Well,
period.
oh yes, it would.
What?
And get porn.
Unless you
yeah.
look like, goddamn me, Idris Elba or somebody. I don't know.
Exactly, or man, because hey, back to that whole thing. If you without, hey, sometimes you got to get it where you
So
can.
she said if you have good dick game that you can get paid for it.
Yeah,
I
or
don't think-
even
I don't know. Oh, as well as a good mouthpiece.
exactly.
Hmm.
If you got a guy like that, you got absolutely right.
Would you? So Cliff, would you? If you was a woman, would you sell?
If you
Yeah,
think
I would.
about it, all women are selling pussy.
Okay, in the sense,
in
I'm
a
talking
way.
about in a literal sense. I know what you're saying.
Oh,
When it
okay.
comes to dates and things like that, but I'm talking about in the literal sense.
If I was a woman,
So you tell me you don't get jealous when you see them counting them hundreds?
Broke niggas on super.
I'm trying to think with knowledge or without knowledge.
Dude, you a hoe. Just say you will. At least you get paid for it.
Come on, keep it real with yourself. I know you. I know it's hard to pay rent now.
Exactly. That's
You know
what I'm
what?
saying.
Yeah, you know what? I would be very high class.
How would you do?
know
Yeah,
what I'm
how would you
saying?
do it? How would you do
Like,
it?
Don't get it twisted.
Thank you.
Yeah, like you know
not
what I mean?
prostitute, but escort.
I wouldn't
Okay.
like, you know what I'm saying, fuck for like $100, you know what I mean?
Well, that's
But
a hand job, honestly.
if you
from
can
what I heard.
cover at least like, 2 months of rent.
That's expensive. Yeah. Shit.
Hey, that's the high end, brother. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if like we could work out a deal, you know what I'm saying, where you have instant access.
So how much is your twat going for? No, what my fact is he said yes. Give him the mic. How much is your twat going for?
I don't know. It depends. If you need to ask me the price, you probably can't afford it anyway. That's all I'm saying.
Yo, that's what they say though.
Yeah, I'm saying, dude. But I know, like I said, that's my thing. Hey, if you gotta ask how much it is, you can't afford it. That's all I say about that. Go ahead,
Okay, so you spend a lot, but you making them spend a lot. You spend bands to make a dance.
Hell yeah, I'm trying to get to the VIP backstage Beyonce concert without having to work for it.
What would you, my man? You've been quiet this whole time.
I know, right? Go ahead.
Man,
Yeah, you get all the mics. Give him all the mics.
I don't
all I'm gonna say, just like the abortion conversation, I'm not a woman, so I can't. That's a tough one, man. I can't lie.
I can see how it can be
That's
tough.
actually a tough thing to think about, because my morality says, of course not.
Right.
But I see why people do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I definitely see why people do it. Of course, my morality tells me that I wouldn't do it, but I'm not in that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't really give you a real answer because I want to say no. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? My mind's telling me no.
Yeah, but your wallet's telling you.
But my bank account is like, hey,
dude, I need something now.
I need a transfer from that check into that savings.
Right? Yeah, man.
Yeah, just what I'm trying to promote to the ladies. I really don't know if I could really do it. You know what I mean?
But honestly, to explain, that's actually what I was saying, even as a joke. I mean, hey, look, in times like these, especially nowadays, you gotta get your paycheck where you can, because I mean, you don't know what's gonna happen the next day. And honestly,
So do y'all blame these women for
No.
selling?
Hey,
Today?
real talk, thinking about it again, bro. Like, that's tough, bro. Like,
It is.
like you think
You
about
got a pot of gold.
think
You got a
about
pot of gold.
no. But think about
Okay.
think about it on the flip side.
yeah.
Okay.
Think about how, you know what I'm saying, when you start dating a female, y'all eventually have sex, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all having sex for a little while. Think about how she acts
Okay.
Before or after sex?
after sex.
Gotcha.
Because we all change after sex.
Yeah.
Okay. Not when you're getting paid.
Good sex.
But-
about that.
But the difference is, like, a woman is taking it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We're men, so we're
Okay.
thinking about it from the
Because it's
Ego side. Yeah.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure a lot of those females, even though they may not, they may not say anything about it, they may gloss over it, but I'm pretty sure they're not, you know what I'm saying? There's something inside of them that hurts from that too.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
You know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
you're doing a double standard.
And maybe getting the bread.
They is getting. That's
Maybe
what I'm
getting
saying.
the bread.
Though. They getting.
You know what I'm saying?
So at the end of the day, I mean, that's money. It's
It's
money.
money. It's
You know,
a paycheck.
we can't lie. Money comes pretty high on the list, even though we don't want it to. It may come over more sometimes.
Yeah, because like I said, hey, if you're about like 2 days from the lights being turned off, you ain't got nothing in your cabinets, you're like old mother
Can you
Hubbard.
imagine walking around with the ATM between your legs like that?
We already do. Dude,
As men,
hell yeah. That's what I was trying to tell one of my friends. He was like, dude, I'm broke. I'm like,
I ain't see what's up
brother,
with my code. My code ain't working right.
Hey, look, I'm telling you right now, hey, you already did. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
You just gotta find them.
speaking of that, man, I got a partner. He don't live in the city. He live in Dallas, man. That's
Put his
all
number out so he
that's
can get
all
some
I'm gonna
plays.
say about
Right?
him. That's all I'm gonna say about him. But he had this old white lady, like, taking care of,
So he
like,
had
going
sugar
on
mama.
trips.
That's a sugar grandmama.
He probably
See
saw
that?
her like
But
once a week.
is that bad? You letting one person take care of
No.
you? So that's different. That's me. That's totally
No,
different.
that's
I mean,
the same
you know what I'm
thing
saying?
if
Like,
you think about it.
That's
Is
a little different. That's a little
Oh
different.
no! It's the exact same thing. Because here's the thing: you're still selling yourself for a product, and a
To
service.
one person as opposed to the man.
I'm ready to research. That means I'm selling ourselves.
It is really the same thing. That's just like porn stars and strippers. Everybody gives strippers and porn stars hell, but yet nobody's mad at them for making that cash, especially if they're on the high end. So you can't then turn around and say, exactly, and you do the exact same thing in the dark. But sorry. But no, I mean seriously, it's the same thing with porn stars. Everybody pisses on porn stars saying, "Oh, well, that's nasty. Oh, I would never do that." But yet, when the rent is due and you got some child support coming up and your bank is dry, you gonna do some stuff you probably didn't want to do to begin with.
So then the question comes: you do anything for $1?
Would you do anything for $1?
Not
When it
$1.
comes to the
You
light
do
skin
anything
cut
for
off,
$1?
you might do some strange for pieces of
Light
change.
skin, I don't know about that, but I'm not doing anything for a damn dollar. I mean,
Okay,
don't pay
not
nothing
literal,
nowadays.
not a literal dollar. You're
All
right.
right, a dollar menu is not gonna dollar menu, brother. It got 18 cents tax. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Clifton.
That's-
What you guys
I
say?
just wish love, peace, and healing for everybody, guys.
All right,
Yeah.
Cliff.
And
So do
I
you-
just know that I can call upon the Lord,
yes,
you know, when the rent is due,
Jesus.
and He's gonna be my answer to all my prayers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You need to get the Bible.
So Cliff is not selling any penis for.
He's
got
doing
that out the way.
Right. He's not laying at the hands of the rotten staff, yo.
Okay, I want to ask y'all one more.
Yeah.
You ready? Last one. These women being very sexual on Facebook. Oh, you know what I'm saying? How do y'all feel about that? Is that
Well,
wrong?
what do you mean by sexual?
Big
I
cap.
just want some head.
We call that big cap.
Big cap.
Oh.
She said, "Why can't women own their own sexuality?"
But I guarantee you, a lot of them times they just doing that to see who gets in their inbox.
That's the
Yeah.
problem I have with it. It's one thing. It's like if a man does it, that's because he's thirsty. He needs it. It's not like women are. It's not like women are just.
There's no ulterior
Yeah, there's no ulterior motives. There's no women
Okay.
just rushing him. But when it comes to a woman, you know damn well. First of all, there's no need for you to put on.
32,000
There's no
inbox
need.
messages.
Exactly. There's no need for you to put it on Facebook because all you gotta do is make one message. What you doing? One message.
To the person that you really wanted.
Hey,
All you
yeah.
need to do is text that person.
Well, see, that's
Well,
what.
because what do you mean?
I don't fall into the
Of
trap.
course I'm
I know
going
the
to.
trap.
What?
I know the trap. I avoid the trap at all
I
costs.
see that. Yeah.
My thing is, why do they do it? Then why do they do
Well,
it?
here's
If
the
they know
thing.
they can get what they
You're
want?
technically answering your own question with your frustration. That's all I gotta say about that. I'm
Yeah.
not even trying to throw
No,
shade.
let me help me
I'm not even trying to throw
recognize it.
shade, brother. I'm just saying this with love. You're answering your own question. You're technically answering your own question, just like the subject we had before.
Mhm.
If you already know you got buyers, I'm just putting business terms. If you already know you got supply and you already know there's a demand, and honestly speaking, she could just be bored and be like, "Well, look, I ain't got nobody
Being
right
bored.
now. Yeah, I just need somebody. Hey, yeah, thank you. I'm just putting out right now. Hey, if you good with
But
the
then she gonna backdoor and be like, "Why y'all in my inbox?" Like
well,
what?
I mean, that's the same thing as them people that you know in high school, even in your social circle, that they never got nothing nice to say. They're always about, man, I wish I had somebody to talk to. Man, I wish somebody would message me. And as soon as you message them, they're like, what up? And I'm like, damn, really? You just said on Facebook, you poured your heart out about, I'm so lonely, I'm so tired, I need somebody to talk to me. But yeah, you message them and they're like, oh no, I'm good. Wow, nah. See, that's what you call a parasite.
So, Cliff, you got something to say about this?
Thank you.
You know, I really appreciate you guys coming on here with me.
All right,
That
thank you
made
for
me
having
feel
me.
real special.
right.
I do have my guy Anthony Johnson here.
Anthony
Anthony
Johnson.
Johnson.
Come on over here real quick.
We love you, Anthony.
No, too shy? No? Okay.
Camera shy.
Never mind, guys.
All
Anthony's
right.
gonna talk to us about what he got going on. Maybe another day.
What does he do?
What does he do? Anthony, we can probably talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
Okay.
But again, guys, I appreciate you guys for checking this out. This is Radioactive. And I want to thank my guests again. Say our names again.
Remy Lee,
Christopher, not Chris, say it all together like a pimp named Slickback.
girl.
Clifton Simmons.
I'm trying to have Clifton on as my new host. I don't know if he wants to be on. Do you want to be on the show as my host, my permanent host, Cliff?
I only want to be on the show if they want to be on the show.
Hey, I'll definitely come back. This was fun.
Check me out
Yeah,
at
I will definitely have you guys.
on Instagram,
I'll definitely have
not
you guys
Chris
come back.
Tips.
Like, I ain't gonna lie, I enjoyed
This was
myself.
fun.
I did.
Hey, you need to get on camera too. You're good. Come on, you gotta get on too.
Look. All right, y'all. It's Radioactive. Peace.
Woo! Cut it out.